So I think I found everything I need. You need to take everything out of the trigger box except these parts. You need to check that the trigger here works. You press down here. Here you press down to release it. This here is where the usual trigger pulls back, and when it pulls back it engages the line down here and it'll release the trigger. The way mine works are that you put this one in there and the trigger will engage on the flats here and it'll pull it down. So that means you'll need to sand these here down and these here, and then you can have a really smooth trigger pull. So just do this first. I just give this a bit of work with a file, and I'm wondering what I used here. Okay. So the smoother you can get these parts, the smoother your trigger pull will be. So I'll just get all this color off of here and all the printing lines. If you don't know, I'm printing these, and I think Shapewares are printing, or I can see it because of the layers, are printing in FDM, which means that it'll put on one, you can see it here, it'll print, start from down here, and it'll put each layer on top until it's done. It's the cheapest way. There's a lot of other ways, but this is what you can get at home. So I won't use this trigger, I think. I don't know if it'll hold up. Well, I'll use this trigger. So how I prepare the trigger is I'll drill this out. Usually with my printing I can do it just with my hand, but here I'll take a just to get it going. It's important that the tube will sit in here. I'll just use this drill as a file. This is just a 6mm pipe, aluminum, depends on how you say it. It's important that it doesn't make too much of a hassle. I'll just file some more. You need to move in there smoothly and comfortably. I'll need to move a bit though. I just take the trigger and use these parts here. You can see these are way prettier than the old ones. I'll just put this here away. So I'll need to check this here for 6mm as well. This tube needs to go very lightly in these two parts in here, or the tube will need to move lightly in the trigger. This here, usually with mine, they're running. I fitted them, but they paint them. That's why here it'll move no problem and no wobble. Whatever they're doing here, it's bugging the hell out of me. so I'll just use it as a file. That's what I usually do. Hope at some point it'll, yeah, well, I'll just take this tube and just give it a bit of love on the outside, hoping that it'll, since I can't get everything in there, usually a 6mm works. I don't want to use a 6.5mm. Let's see if this is enough. Well, it's way too tight. I don't like that. Okay, I'll use this trigger here. Perfect. I usually, with my triggers, I do this before you get them. I fit everything. If you buy it on Shapeways, you'll need to do these. Do this yourself. So, looks like I already sanded this. But I'll just give it a bit more just to, I don't want to feel anything with my nail. So, here, you can just put it here and feel. Yeah, smooth as a, well, I won't say the baby ass, but yeah. Smooth, very comfortable. That'll give a great trigger pull. So, trigger is done. These here, I'll just check to see if the tube will fit in there. This here needs a bit of love, I feel. But it's not. Tube just needs to go in here. You don't need to move. And then I just check this 4mm hole here. In here, the pin will go. That'll hold it. It'll keep all this here in check. Just checking. So, see, I haven't fitted this. I file down these here just a tad, because I always make them a bit too big, just to get a better fit in there. This usually goes on behind the camera and you'll just get your trigger. That's usually the way it goes, and I'll just, you see, check here that I'll removed everything. So this is the way it should look. In here, the spring will go. Nope. I'll check that this here fits. I'll just ever so lightly sand these down. It'll just keep the friction to a minimum in case it goes up against the walls. Oh, this here I don't like. Whoops, and gone it is. So, trigger goes in here. Now the other side goes in here. I'll just, yep, look, fits here. Just press this here a bit more inside. Trigger moves lightly, no wobble. Here goes in the hole up here just to keep it. It'll just put the trigger back. So that's a trigger pack, easy peasy. So now the trigger need to engage the sear here, trigger sear, whatever it's called, trigger arm I usually call it. So this here needs to go in there. It's a bit fiddly, but you need to put this part with the knobs in here first, and it is not easy, I can tell you. Well, it is pretty easy, but it's not easy in the way that you can see what's going on. So just plopped it in there. I'll just press it into the arm. That's easiest from above with a here. Just take and press it in here. Yeah, see, it's in there, and this can move down. So what you need to do is, you got these two holes in here. You need to put the trigger on the inside, and whatever you do, don't lose. You might need sometimes to sand it a bit down if it's too wide. I can see it's because it isn't going all the way in here on the side plate. I'll just take it apart. If you need to take it apart, use a flathead screwdriver and just give it a bit of gentle loving, because don't use a knife. Only stupid people use knives. Sadly, I am one of those. Do cut myself a fair bit. No. Well, it looks like my flathead's somewhere else. Well, if I break it, you'll have something to laugh about. Okay, I'll just put it all the way together again. Looks like it. Yeah, and got it there. So, what you need to do is line up these two holes there. I'll just plop the spring in there again, because afterwards it's gonna be a lot of work. So, trigger on each side here. Trigger pack goes in there. So, you got these spring-a-magics, and I never can remember which side goes. Okay. One side got these burrs, and they'll only fit on one side, and the other side they won't go in. So check that first, which way is the right one. Here, and you'll just give them some, well, tender loving, and that's it. I can say that here you can see the safety works. It's engaged. Let's see if I can take it out of there. Just so, there you go. So, smooth as a baby's ass trigger pull. Check it first before you build it in, and that's all there's to it. You take all this crap out, what's in here, put this here, it'll protect it a bit. The safety will still work, and ta-ta, there you go. Easy peasy.